Hello everybody, welcome back once again to HEB Cars. I'm Aaron and today is the second last day of pre-season testing for the whole year. So the third day of the second Barcelona test, which is the third day of the third pre-season test, which of course is the last one. So after this there's only one more and then we'll be straight into Melbourne, Australia for the first race, which is only 2 weeks away now. So all's good in the F1 world. So today we're gonna go through all the times and laps and all as usual and do some analysis on it. And we're gonna start off with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, who was fastest on a 1:23 flat, which was on the soft tyre. And in comparison to all the others, everyone else down as far as Hulkenberg was on the super soft. So if you take that into effect between the difference of the tires, it's Pirelli anyway say that it's about a second a lap between each of the tire compounds. So bearing that in mind, the Mercedes was really 1.2 seconds quicker than the Williams and Ferrari. So Mercedes certainly have a quick car this year, as we know they will have, and it's also reliable because they're about to hit 1200 laps of all the preseason tests put together. So, Mercedes, as we know, will be the strongest team of the year, and we expect them to win both drivers and constructors championships again. So not as fast though Hamilton than his teammate Rosberg was yesterday. He did a 1:22.7, also on the soft tires. So but you can put that down to conditions of the track, and we don't know what fuel loads anyone was running and anything else like that. So something like that may explain. And Mercedes then today had not so many laps, but they did get a full race simulation done, and they also done some experimental setup changes. So that's what Mercedes were up to today. Then we go down to Williams, and Felipe Massa was best of the rest. He was on the super soft tires, as was most others. He did a 1:23.2, which is Williams's best lap time of preseason testing. Massa did a 1:23.5 on day one, and then Bottas did a 1:23.9, I believe, on day two. So now Massa has that down to 1:23.2, and over 100 laps completed as well. So but as I said, the tires, I hope that Williams and Ferrari were not trying to go as fast as they possibly could, because if they were, that's quite a scary thought to think that Mercedes are 1.2 seconds a lap quicker than Williams and Ferrari, who will probably be the next best to Mercedes. Williams also then, so quite a good day then, all in all. Good mileage and a positive, no issues really. Williams last year was a very reliable car, and I've no doubts that they will be again in 2015. They also today stopped an hour before the test ended. So, and this is on day two, or no, day one. I think they stopped as well with about half an hour left. So it kind of shows confidence, I'd say, to not really need to run for the whole test, and they're sticking to their own schedule and plan of action to what they want to have done. So when they get that done, they're happy enough, and they don't feel the need to run anymore like other teams would. So that is a positive thing to take from the Williams team. Then Kimi Räikkönen took over from Sebastian Vettel today in Ferrari, and he was the third quickest driver, just slightly off Felipe Massa, and a bit more mileage as well. He just brought Ferrari over 1,000 laps as well. So excellent mileage again. But and he also had an electrical issue in the morning, which kind of halted some running. But then they sorted that out, and he was able to get going again in the afternoon. Good laps as well. He was doing aero evaluations, as they've been doing all week, and setup work as well. Then Carlos Sainz Jr. in the Toro Rosso was fourth on a 124.1. He was also on super softs. Good amount of laps, also 131. They are also over 100 laps as well today. 3 teams hit the 1,000-mile marker on day 3. One of them was Toro Rosso. And so a great number of laps. Good day, but then at the end of the day, just after he done his 24.1, he stopped on track at, I think, turn 3 with as of yet unexplained issue. So we hope to hear more in the coming hours about what happened there. Lotus then were 5th with Romain Grosjean. Not much to say about them. They got a good amount of laps done, and time wasn't too bad, but I mean, obviously they can't be a second a lap slower than Williams and Ferrari on the same tyre, so they weren't really trying to go as fast as Williams and Ferrari were. But they were also doing some aero testing today, and overall a fairly positive day with no issues really to report. Sauber was 6th quickest with Marcus Ericsson at the wheel. He did a 124.4, also on the super soft tyres. 123 laps as well, which is again encouraging, and they also hit the 1,000-mile marker. Not a completely issue-free day though for Sauber, as they did cause a red flag when Ericsson stopped out on track at turn 3, like the Toro Rosso of Carlos Sainz. So that kind of halted their progress, as they were in the middle of a race simulation at the time, so that obviously wasn't completed. But good overall laps and encouraging for Sauber yet again. Nico Hulkenberg in the Force India was 7th, again on the super soft tyres as everyone else. And this Force India, remember, arrived yesterday on day 2. This is only this car's second day of testing, and today it did 158 laps, and that is incredible. And if you look at Force India's total, Force India have done, I think, 250 or so laps in the new car, because the total team laps there represents what they did with the 2014 car in the second test. So just for day 2 and 3 of this test in the VJM 08, which is the 2015 car, they've done almost as much mileage as McLaren have for the whole of pre-season testing, and that is incredible. 158 laps for the car's second day, and that is more impressive than what Mercedes did in Jerez even. So very, very encouraging for Force India. Very reliable car, and probably Force India were right then, I'd say, to skip out the first test altogether, run the second test with the 2014 car, and only run the 2015 car the third test, because with results like that, I mean, that's very, very impressive. Obviously the time is nowhere near what the top runners were doing on the same tyre, but I mean, not Force India's focus isn't on performance yet, it's just about reliability, which they certainly have in the new car. Then McLaren, and we see that Kevin Magnussen was in the car again today, after being dropped from a race seat after the arrival of Fernando Alonso. Magnussen returns to the car after Alonso's crash in the second test. So Magnussen back in the car. He did a 125.2 on the soft tyres, not the super soft, but only 39 laps, as a oil leak hampered their progress. So after their incredible day of over 100 laps yesterday, they've kind of slipped back into old habits, and they are they're certainly not out of the woods yet, and still have a lot of work to do with the car and the Honda power unit, which obviously will be worked on immensely. Last place then, the slowest car today was Daniel Ricciardo's Red Bull, he did a 125.7 and 128 laps, which brings their total up to 860. Good mileage today. Of course, not concerned about time. He was on the medium tyres, but that's still a lot slower. And with that kind of lap time, we know that Red Bull weren't really trying to go quick, and it wasn't their main focus. They were focusing on long runs today, and they also did a race simulation of 66 laps all together with pit stops and so forth. So that's it really for day 3. Not much action today. Quite a quiet day overall. Last day is tomorrow. Hope to see some more action and some more stories. So join us here on AGB Cars for all that info. And yeah, until then, it's goodbye. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to like the video if you found it informative, subscribe to AGB Cars for more like it, and follow me on Twitter.